Hello, welcome back to the channel, and this is a channel where we give you reviews, playthroughs, unboxings, and we generally like to talk a load of bollocks. Like tabletop gaming in general, and in this video I'm going to be talking about a farm simulator Euro game. We're going to be talking about La Granja or La Granja or La Granja. We're going to call it La Granja because I don't want to look stupid mispronouncing words on boxes. So in La Granja you will be taking control of a farm in Spain, I think it is. You'll be growing crops, you'll be tending to pigs, you'll be selling your produce at the market that will give you victory points that will allow you to win the game. So in this video we're going to be giving you a very brief overview of the rules. We're telling you what we do like, what we don't like. And we'll come back and we'll tell you whether or not La Granja is still worth playing today and in the future. This has just appeared on Kickstarter. I'm not sure whether the Kickstarter is still going, but there's a deluxe version. Bear in mind that this version cost me about 20 quid, but I had to translate it myself from German to English. The deluxe version is probably going for around about 80 quid or something like that. I don't know. I don't know the exact cost of that, but just bear in mind that it is still available, right? So remember, if you're new here, then please consider subscribing to this channel. Leave a comment in that section down below, hit the like button, subscribe and all that bullshit, and we'll see you after this. Bollocks. So La Granja, how'd you play this game? So La Granja is an economic Euro game that the main draw is the weirdy beardy player board, right? That has little bits cut out for different cards, right? Every player's going to get one of these. I put it in front of them. You're going to get 4 donkey tiles, 4 of each different type. You're going to get 25 of those really annoying power grid style barrel things. You'll get 1 victory point token and you'll get 1 silver. You'll shuffle the farm cards and then you'll deal 4 to each player. You'll sort the 24 craft tiles and stick them on their designated spaces. You roll a die and you'll place a building order marker on that space. You'll create a dice pool depending on the amount of players. You'll do loads of other bullshit and then you'll start a game, right? So La Granja is divided into 4 phases over a series of rounds, right? The first phase is the farm phase. What you'll do, you'll choose a card or 2 cards if you're in the first round, and you'll place it in one of the available spots under your player board. You can place it on the left, on the right, on the top or on the bottom. You'll see that each card has a multi-use value. If you put it on the left hand side, it becomes a field that will produce goods. If you place it on the top, then this will become a market barrow where you'll be able to fulfill contracts to get stuff. If you put it on the right hand side, it becomes a farm extension, and every time you do this you'll have to pay some kind of goods. The more farm extensions that you get, the more expensive it's going to be, right? Or you can place it at the bottom, in which case you'll take advantage of the helper that is on the card, right? There's loads of different helpers. I think there's about 63 different cards, and yet we did have to painstakingly go through this and translate it from bloody German to English because I'm a cheap bastard and I didn't want to pay full price for the game, right? So once you've done that, you'll go on to the revenue phase. You'll roll the dice and then you'll allocate them to the space on the left hand side of the board, and then in player order you will get to choose a die and you'll be able to take the action associated with that. You'll do this twice and there'll be 1 die left over, then everyone will be able to take that final action. So if you choose the 1, you'll be able to place a player marker in an empty pig stall. This is for people that love pork. So the number 2 spot will either play or draw 1 card or place 1 player marker in a harvest good den. I used to love making dens when I was a kid. Not so much now because it usually turns out to be a drug den. Number 3 lets you place 1 player marker in 2 different harvest goods dens. Luckily, opium isn't in this game, right? 4 lets you gain 4 silver. 5 lets you upgrade 2 resources for free and advance 2 steps on the siesta track. The siesta track is used to determine player order and also gives you victory points the further up you are on it, right? Or if you get a number 6, you'll be able to carry out 1 delivery or gain 2 silver. And this relates to the next phase, which is the transportation step. Everyone will choose one of their donkey markers to reveal it in unison. You'll get a certain number of deliveries designated by donkeys and or siesta markers like designated by stupid hats. For each donkey you've got, you'll be able to make a delivery. You'll be able to move markers to your wheelbarrows to try and complete the requirements that allow you to send them off to market, and for every hat icon you'll be able to move up the siesta track. You'll also be able to use donkeys to deliver to the craft markets. If you complete a row in a craft market, then you'll take a craft marker token that might give you 3 silver during the farm phase. It might give you 1 trade commodity, and trade commodities are sort of like a wild card. They can be used in lieu of other resources and stuff, they might allow you to immediately gain one of any resource, right? So these are very, very useful. The earlier you get them, the more lucrative they're going to be. So once you've done all that, then you'll go into the scoring phase. All the player markers from the helpers that you used will be returned to their owners. You'll gain 1 victory point for each player marker in the marketplace. And the way that you get markers into the marketplace is when you complete a barrow, you'll be able to take one of the markers off the market barrow and you'll be able to place it in the market center. The number of victory points that is on the card tells you which space to put it on, and if you place your marker adjacent to any markers that are on a lower number space, you'll boot them off and you'll get that number of victory points as well. So you'll gain victory points dependent on where you are on a siesta track. You'll discard any remaining roof tiles, and you get roof tiles in the farm phase. You'll basically get the option of paying a bit of money and taking a benefit. Like we said, you also get victory points dependent on how many roof markers you've already got. And then you'll turn any craft markers that are on their instant side to their perpetual side, and you'll get the benefit of that all the time, right? There's also actions you could do at any time, and we always marvel at this because they're really quite powerful. You can convert a trade commodity into one of the resources that is on your player board. You could buy resources by adding them to your den or store, right? This is an easy way of getting resources that you need into your den or store. You can sell resources for the price that is listed on your player board, and you can activate the face-up roof markers that you bought in the farm phase, right? So they're available to do any time that you want to do it. You'll get to the end of the 6th round, and then you'll do some final scoring. You'll sell all the resources in your den or stores. You'll exchange all of your trade commodities you ain't used for 4 silver, and then you'll gain 1 victory point for every 5 silver that you got, and then the player with the most victory points will be the winner of Granja. So what do we like about Granja? So the first thing you like about it is the way that dice are chucked into the middle of each round. I love chucking dice anyway, and the fact they're stuck into a Euro game to give you that unknown benefit, it makes it quite a nice tantalising prospect when you're thinking, oh, I could just do with a donkey, and then generally it don't come up. The fact they've chucked a random die rolling mechanism that everybody's going to benefit from 3 times is fantastic. So the second thing that we like about this game is the fact that it takes a lot of the aspects of a traditional Feld game and also traditional aspects of an Uwe Rosenberg game, and it melds them together into a nice tasty chicken and mushroom pie. Not literally, but it's just a weird metaphor of mine. So if you're a fan of Feld games and you're a fan of Uwe Rosenberg games, Granja sort of takes the two, merges them together and concocts a wonderful cocktail from both aspects. You've got the, don't like the term point salad, but you've got the point salady aspect of Feld, and you've also got the economic farmhand aspects of Uwe Rosenberg. So the fact that you've got the 2 stenches of what otherwise would be opposing camps is really, really nice. So the next thing that we like about it is that you get the option of chaining actions together. This sort of thing generally comes together towards the end of the game when you've got your engine flowing. It is a bit brain burnery trying to figure out how to complete those last market barrows by using those commodities to get your fields to produce or to get those pigs slaughtered into cured ham, right? The fact that you can maybe chain 2, 3, maybe even 4 actions together to get to where you want to be gives this game a really good sense of planning ahead, and when you pull it off, it's really, really satisfying. So the final thing that we really like about Granja is the fact that you've got multi-use cards, right? The fact that there's 4 different ways to use all your cards. It really doesn't matter what you draw. You're going to be able to use most of the cards that are chucked your way. Okay, it is a bit random. There are a few shitty cards in here, but then maybe you could complete them to get some quick victory points. It's the helpers that really do change the game up. So you might have the vintner. He or she might allow you to move grapes from your fields to any harvest goods dens. You might have the monger. If you get at least 1 victory point via the siesta track in the scoring phase, immediately take another victory point. That's massive. Or you might have the good old friendly neighbourhood greengrocer. When you use a die to make a delivery, draw a card or play a card and take 1 harvest goods. That's really, really powerful, right? So these cards are absolutely fantastic. It's one of the highlights of the game, and it's the thing that makes us keep coming back to this time and time again, right? So what don't we like about Granja? So the first thing we don't like about this game is it's a complete bastard to teach. I was tearing my hair out trying to figure out how to play this game. I mean, okay, it's not that difficult. You just go through the phases, but it's so fiddly. It's not that complicated once you get into the flow of it, but actually trying to teach this game, I found myself trying to tear out what little hair I got left. The rules aren't that great. It's sort of spread out over too many pages. I mean, you could condense the rules down into one page. In fact, we picked up a rule summary that does just that, and we didn't actually look at the rules. Even if you go online and look at some of the tutorial videos, most of them tend to talk out their arse for half an hour. Like we said, once you get in the swing of things, this no longer becomes a problem. But the initial migraine that you're going to be getting from trying to teach this game to new players is going to put a few people off. So the next thing that we don't like about this game is it's a little bit bloody fiddly, especially when you've got the cards in sleeves. They don't slide under the mat properly, and when you've got a load of crap on your mat and other cards under the mat, if the mat moves, then you're going to have to rearrange all the cards, and sometimes you're going to have to slide cards out to replace them. If you want to swap out a helper, for instance, you're going to have to dig under your mat, which means everything's going to go flying all over the place, and it's just a pain in the arse. So the final thing that we don't like about this game is the theme is sort of weak in parts. I do like the way that the player board works. It does sort of make you feel like you're in control of a small farm holding, but when you look at the main player board, and it just turns into one of them sort of Feldian, abstract, Jackson Pollock style, hypnotic pictures, right? It doesn't really make a lot of sense to the theme where you'll be placing these cylinders out onto like a market. Okay, you could say that you're trying to do the Starbucks thing where you're trying to close down your competitors and all that, but really, I don't think so somehow. It just seems a little bit abstract. They could have cemented the theme down better had they thought more about making that portion of the game make more sense, right? So to summarise, is the Granja worth your time and bother? Is it worth spending shitloads of money on the upgraded deluxe version based on what we know about this version? So we're going to say, I don't know, at the end of the day, I don't know what the deluxe version looks like. It's probably the same game with better components, and there's a couple of expansions I think bunged in there, right? But based purely on the old dry Euro, we're going to say probably yes. It's a solid generic Euro that doesn't really break much ground other than having that really fancy player board that's chopped up to accommodate those multi-use cards. And so it provides a solid experience to people that are fans of this game in the first place. If you're not a Europhile, there's not really going to be much in this game that's going to make you change your mind, and you're not going to be able to put down those roll and move Ameritrash games in favour of this one. In fact, you'll probably want to go out and buy a cigarette lighter and burn this game, because it's probably about as Eurocentric as you can get without moving to the middle of Bavaria, right? So we like it because we like the old Euro experience, but I know for a fact there's going to be people watching this video that will be spitting their Campbell's soup at their iPad screen in disgust. So it really comes down to which side of the Euro Ameritrash fence you sit on, right? So there you go, that's the Granja. And remember, if you are new here, please consider subscribing to this channel. Hit the like button, comment, subscribe and all that bollocks. We'll see you next time.